Your business exists because you had the idea to start it. Everything begins in our minds. That's why your business results cannot outgrow your current level of thinking. Do you want to serve more clients, make more money, without working more or burning yourself out? Grow yourself first as a leader of your business, because that's who you are, a leader, even if you're the only person in your business right now. When you lead yourself first, the business results will always follow. My name is Maggie. I'm an international business and leadership coach, an expert in business mindset, strategy, and high performance. I created the Diamond Effect podcast to help you elevate your thinking, expand your perspective, and through it, grow your business without overwhelm. So let's get started. Let me say something that may sting a little. If your marketing feels harder than it should, if you're constantly posting, tweaking, explaining, discounting, and if you're still not seeing consistent, high-quality clients, then there's a very good chance that it's not your strategy or your marketing tactics, but it's your understanding of your ideal client. Because when you misunderstand the ideal client concept, which I see a lot of service business owners do, here's what actually happens. You create generic messaging that sounds okay, but really doesn't move your people to act. Your conversions your conversion rates stay low, and that means you need more leads just to survive, which of course translates into you working longer and harder and spending your life in marketing. And then you start attracting price-sensitive buyers, people who are high maintenance because your positioning doesn't clearly communicate value. You end up working with those high-maintenance clients that are draining. They question your pricing, they don't fully commit, and then you start hating your business and start losing motivation to keep going. And because of that, you market more, you post more, you tweak more, you chase visibility, but your return on investment on all that time spent, effort, and money barely moves. So that's an easy path to burning out. Not because you're bad at business or because you're not working hard enough, but because you're speaking to the wrong person, or worse, trying to speak to everyone and anyone who you think can benefit from your service. So what I want to tell you is that ideal client business concept isn't just like a cute marketing exercise. It's a decision that leads to your profitability. It's an energy decision. It's a leadership decision. It's one of the most important decisions that you as a CEO make in your business. Because when you get it wrong, it costs you money, momentum, confidence, and a lot of chasing in the wrong direction. So today, we're going to fix that. Welcome to the next Diamond Effect podcast episode. And today, we'll talk about 5 key myths that service business owners believe about our ideal clients that make them run in the wrong direction and live the consequences I just described. But the good news is, once you understand those myths and the right way to think and define your ideal client, you can fix that and you will see a big difference in your business. So let's get started. Okay, number 1 is really understanding the definition of your ideal client, because I think a lot of business owners don't fully understand it and think that it's just the person who fits your demographics that you described. So like a business owner or a woman between 30 and 50 or whatever. And then anybody who falls in that could potentially benefit from your services and use your services is your ideal client. And we'll get in depth into demographics down in the next myth. But here, what I want to say, an ideal client is not only the person who fits your ideal client avatar in terms of demographics and psychographics and all those things. And also, it's the person who wants what you offer and it's open to hiring somebody like you. They might be already looking for somebody like you to solve their problems, to help them with their goals, or at least they're starting to think about that. And now they just need to choose the best fit. So your ideal client is not the person who maybe fit all the demographics and all the descriptions that you worked on, but is not open to the idea of getting the service that you offer. Because then what happens, that person is impossible to convince. You as a small business owner don't have the budget and resources like huge corporations to create desires when they don't exist, or to create some subliminal messaging to convince people who are not even entertaining the idea to consider that the services you offer would be beneficial for them. So, for example, myself, I like to be active and I like to, be fit, but I hate gyms. There is no advertising out there that can convince me to go and work out in a gym, even though from my demographic, I could be an ideal client where I'm a woman, I'm in my perimenopausal years, right? So midlife, strength training, and all those things are important. I'm even health conscious and I like to be active, but my brain is no gyms. I have a gym at home. I do things at home. I go outside, be active that way. So as you can see, your ideal clients need to be open to your services. So even with me as the business coach, can any service-based business owner benefit from business coaching? And could I help? And yet, not everybody sees the value of business coaching, doesn't want to be vulnerable, doesn't want outside perspective. And that's okay. In my marketing, I don't talk to those people. I talk to people who are already entertaining the idea, who are already seeing some of the value of the business coaching, or at least are interested in it. Because when you try to talk to everybody and anybody, your brain most of the time will focus on the people who are not entertaining the idea, but could benefit from your services, because usually that's the majority of the, let's say, population of your client avatar. So the brain likes to focus on the majority, but then you feel like you have to convince. Your marketing sometimes seems like you're arguing with people. And then you feel defeated because then you're like, oh, people don't see my value, or people don't want what I offer. And then you lose the motivation for marketing and you start believing that maybe there isn't anybody who wants to work with you because they're not seeing the value. And it's not true. You're just focusing not on your ideal client. So just to reiterate, an ideal client is a person who, yes, fits your demographic and kind of client avatar description and wants what you offer, or at least is open to the idea, is entertaining the idea in their brain, and either they're ready to buy and they're just looking for the right service provider for them, or at least down the line, they will be looking for it, but they're already kind of thinking about it. The second myth and misconception that I see business owners make about their ideal client is that once I decide on my ideal client and I do the exercise and I fill in the worksheet, I'm done forever. I don't have to review it. I don't have to change it. And that's not true. And here are the reasons. First of all, I believe that as service providers, we can always keep improving our understanding of our ideal clients and getting deeper and deeper into understanding their problem, how it affects their lives, their challenges, and so on. So for me, it's an ongoing journey that you can just master and improve understanding of the ideal client you've chosen. But then the second thing is markets shift, right? So how markets or the economy or technology, like outside circumstances that affect your business, also affect your clients' lives. So as those things affect your ideal clients' lives, the way they make decisions and their situation will change. So they will be thinking differently about what they need and what they want. And you need to adjust to that. So that constant understanding, not only of your ideal clients, but the markets and how it affects your ideal clients is important. Another thing, industries evolve. So your industry can be evolving, or even your business will be evolving. So maybe you started, let's say you're a landscaper, and you started with grass cutting and snow removal. And at first, your clients maybe were seniors who couldn't do it on their own anymore, or some basic commercial properties when they don't need a lot of sophisticated landscaping, just simple cut the grass, remove the snow, and so on. But then as your business evolves, you realize, hey, I want to do a design and more of a backyard garden. And with that, you implemented a new service, and maybe you're thinking, hey, I can offer it to my current clients. But your current clients might not be the right people for that service. That service might require a brand new defining of an ideal client and client avatar, because it will be a different demographic, totally different market of clientele. So how your business evolves, or even your industry evolves, will make a difference. Sometimes the service lines you have will be targeted towards different ideal clients. So each service you offer might require a separate definition of client avatar. Another example is my own business coaching practice. I have a diamond effect group offer that's really tailored to starting beginners service-based businesses. So businesses that are, anywhere from 1 to 5 years on average in life. They haven't yet crossed 6 figures of gross income, and there's a lot of other things that go into it. Whereas my one-on-one coaching practice is for more established business owners who very often already have teams, or at least have 6-figure income, and now are looking to scale and expand, which requires usually hiring of new team members, stronger brand definition. It also requires operational structure and organization, and so on. So I have 2 coaching offers that have 2 different client avatars. So think of that as well when you decide on what services you offer. Another thing that, just busts the myth of once I define my ideal client and I'm done, is when you raise prices significantly. So very often when we start, we're kind of not sure. We don't have a lot of experience maybe yet, or social proof of how amazing we are. So we tend to, charge lower prices than a more mature expert business owners who has a lot of social proof, a lot of brand recognition, and so on. So when you start raising prices, and once you get past certain threshold and your prices have raised significantly, you might need to change your ideal client. You might be shifting markets. So maybe you were a consultant or some sort of business-to-business service provider, when in the beginning with your pricing and types of services and structure, you were supporting solopreneurs. And as you became more and more known, you started getting more institutional clients, or maybe small to medium-sized businesses that already have more complexity, and you started raising your prices. Now your pricing really speaks more and is more in the range of that institutional, corporate, or large, medium-sized business than a solopreneur. Your pricing can also affect who your ideal client should be. Those are definitely considerations, especially when you notice that if you change pricing, the clients who used to buy from you are no longer buying. That's a that's a clear indication you shift markets. And that means you need to redefine your ideal client. You should change your positioning, your messaging in order to attract the clients who are now in order to attract clients within your price range of services. The third myth that I'm seeing is when business owners think that their ideal clients are just demographics. So the way that you think you need to define your ideal client avatar is just demographic, meaning their age, their gender, maybe location and income, and that's it. But this is too surface level. This is when, if you just define that, you talk to everybody and anybody, you become very generic where you're not going deep enough to stand out. You're not going deep enough to really find your niche and your corner of the kingdom where you attract clients, where they feel you're expert, helping them with their problems and helping them achieve their goals, right? The real drivers of buying decisions are not age or gender or income or location. They're stage in business and life. Like, for example, if you're a financial planner, you might be helping people 5 to 10 years into retirement who are really actively thinking about it. And now are starting to worry, where's my money coming from? Or you might be actually helping young professionals who are getting promotions and gaining more and more money. And now they have more money than they can manage. And they're trying to figure out, what can I do the best? How can I best allocate my money so it works for me while I'm also working in my career? Another thing is the urgency of the problem. Usually we as human beings and like buyers, we act on problems that are the most urgent. They affect us in a way where staying in status quo is no longer an option. That also goes with the frustration level, to how frustrated we are with the current situation and our values. So when you identify and when you think about your ideal client avatar, you really need to understand their situation. So what is it that they're struggling with day to day, in the area of their life that you're helping them with, whether it's health, whether it's their wealth, whether it's their business or finances or, their home, whatever that is. What is keeping them up at night? And ultimately, from understanding where they are, their situation, you also want to know their desires. What is it that they want? Yes, I have a problem and I want to fix it, but not just for the sake of fixing the problem. There is a desired future that I want to get to, and your service becomes that solution. Those for their situation. You also want to understand their psychographics, meaning what's important to them when they make decisions. So their values, their risk tolerance, other decision makers or people who influence their decisions, all of that needs to be understood. When I coach my clients, I always guide them and I can really show them very easily and in any industry how that works and what they need to understand. So let me give you some other examples. So let's say you're in health and wellness industry, whether you're a nutritionist and personal trainer and health coach. Okay, and your ideal client, let's say demographic, it's my demographics, the women in their midlife, working, kids and so on. They're starting going through perimenopause and so on. But that's still very generic. Now, if you think about their problems and what they worry about and how it affects their life, then one example could be, okay, now their body is changing. Not even that they gained weight, but the way their body looks so much that their clothes that they had even from 5 years ago they're no longer fitting. And they feel like, it's because they're gaining weight and so on. So they're starting to eat less or eat the wrong things, thinking that they have to lose weight in order to fit in the clothes. Whereas that might not be true. And, I'm not a nutritionist and so on, but you as an expert might think, hey, like, no, you shouldn't be going into diets because that will put you into frustration. It's not going to give you the results you want, meaning either fitting with your clothes or understanding that it's your body that changed and maybe you need to change the clothes, but ultimately diets are not an option because they'll just send you into, constant hunger and will worsen your perimenopausal symptoms. So you will get even worse and worse in how you feel. And this is how it will affect you. The solution is, my nutritional plan or whatever. And then the result will be where you will feel good, your body will look healthy, and, you might fit in your clothes from 5 years. Now you can see how in depth you need to go. Like for women like that, their value is, I want to be healthy. I want to function well. I want to look and feel well. And also have energy and operate at the high level because I'm still a busy mom with kids, driving them everywhere. I have a professional career and so on. And when I diet, for example, trying to thinking I have to lose weight, I don't have that energy. So I'm frustrated with myself, with my life, and, all those things. If you are interior designer, your ideal client is not just maybe a person who, has certain amount of income and values beauty and so on. It might be somebody who loves to entertain. And let's say if you're specializing in kitchens, then, what's important to your ideal client, how they make decisions is they want a kitchen where they can be proud of, or they can entertain. And their frustration with the current one is that, it doesn't hold as many people. It doesn't look great, so they're not really comfortable bringing people in. They're frustrated every day coming in and having to cook in there and so on. So as you can see, you're diving deep into your client's life. You're seeing them living their life day to day with the frustrations and challenges that they have that you can help them with, and really understanding what they want on the other side of it. And you have to get this granular in understanding your ideal client and not just age, location, and gender. The fourth myth I'm seeing service-based business owners fall into, and especially once you're a little bit more established and maybe you've been in business for a few years, is that you assume that your ideal client knows everything about you because you have a website that's been developed and there's a good copy in it, and you've marketed your business on social media, or you've networked with people for a few years now. It's just your brain getting bored of you, speaking about your business and about how you help people and talking to your ideal client over and over, and making you believe that your familiarity with your own business and you really know it inside out and your knowledge is the same. Your ideal client has the same knowledge because you've been talking about it for a few years now. And of course, that's not true. First of all, you always have new people entering your audience. So whether it's people signing up for your newsletters, new people you met in networking, people following you on social media and so on. So you'll always have new people who don't know anything about you. And maybe they didn't even go on your website because they met you on networking and they connected with you on LinkedIn. You also can't expect them to be scrolling through a year worth of posts to figure out what you do. Another thing is your ideal clients are focused predominantly on their lives and their problems and their challenges. And until they have a need to solve the problem, or until something is important in the moment, they're not going to remember what you do and how you can help them from 6 months from now, when maybe they were open to the idea, but they weren't ready to buy it. And just the regular, science shows that even a person who wants to hire you and is looking for a solution, they need anywhere from 16 to 30 touch points to really understand how you can help them, for them to start seeing you solving their problem, helping them get to their goals. When you think about 16 to 30 touch points, that's a lot of touch points that can span throughout some time, just because your person might not see every one of your posts. Or if you're networking, they might not be at every networking event or meeting you go to. They might not have time to go in depth through your website in one sitting, right? So repetition is key. And never believe your brain telling you, oh, you're talking about the same thing over and over. That's not true. Yes, there's positioning and messaging and in-depth understanding of your ideal client. That's important. And if you're not having that right, you could be talking about your business a lot and you will resonate. But once you have that nailed down and it's good, you still need a lot of repetition for people to remember, to integrate, to fully understand. When I was a corporate leader, I learned that really firsthand when I would have to train my team members on new process or new technology or new client over and over and over again over a prolonged period of time for them to integrate it. And then still occasionally I would get questions about something that maybe we trained on and we covered, just because it also takes time people to absorb the information and really integrate it and know it inside out. So repetition is key. Leaders repeat themselves all the time. And that's part of marketing. Constant, consistent marketing, and just attacking what you're messaging from many different angles, so then different clients can resonate with it. Because, even if you have 3 ideal clients that fall into the in-depth, description that you have, there's still 3 different people. They learn differently. They retain information differently. They come from different backgrounds. Some need more touch points. Some need a little bit less. And then the 5th and last myth I want to talk about is that believing that just because you can help anyone, you should stay generic, and the fear that if you get too specific, you miss on opportunities. And with that, also thinking that if I just need to stay generic and I just need better marketing tactics and that will get me more leads, that could not be further from the truth. Because when you just stay at the demographics level, let's say women 30 to 50, homeowners, or anyone who wants to have better finances, you really don't resonate with anyone. Your messaging becomes generic because you're not inclined to go deeper into understanding your clients' lives, their situations, their values, and what helps them make decisions. So then, of course, your marketing won't convert. And you'll just rely maybe on referrals or on discounting your services or being, the cheapest person on the market. That doesn't allow you to get very clear and position yourself as the expert, the service provider for your clients to go to. When you're more specific in your messaging, because you narrow down, and by narrowing down could be the situation your client is in, not just the demographic. Narrow down, your specific messaging will attract better clients. They will make faster decisions, so your sales cycle will lower and you will build higher trust. With that, just going to different types of marketing tactics, hoping that your generic marketing will convert better just because you're doing SEO and ads and reels and funnels is wrong. You just lose time and money trying all those things, and the conversion will be the same. Okay. If you have a low conversion on organic marketing, throwing money at it will not improve conversion, because it's not the money that improves conversion, but it's the specific specific messaging and positioning that does. So I always tell my clients it's actually better to figure out your positioning, your messaging, get deeper, know your ideal clients in organic marketing with organic marketing strategies. And once you see it converting really well, then invest money into ads or some funnels or, hire an SEO expert to help you. Because very often it's not the traffic problem or visibility problem, but a positioning problem that creates low conversions. So, thank you for listening. I hope that was helpful. So thank you for listening. Go through all those myths, look at your ideal clients, see how you can improve your understanding and with it, your positioning and messaging to them. And if you need help, this is one of the things that I do with all my clients to help them increase conversions and make more money with less time or within the same resources. Book a consultation. How you can connect with me is through my website, stairwaytoleadership.com, and book a complimentary consultation from there. Have a fantastic week. Talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening today. If this podcast resonated with you, please come back. Also, you can leave a review on whatever platform you're listening. And if you have a suggestion, question, or a topic you would like me to talk about, let's get in touch via email. Email me at Maggie@stairwaytoleadership.com. See you in the next episode.